At the age of 17, Juliane became known worldwide as the sole survivor of the Lanza Flight 508 crash, and surviving 11 days alone in the Peruvian Amazon rainforest. This is the amazing story of Juliane Koepcke. On Christmas Eve of 1971, just one day after she graduated in Lima, Peru, Juliane Koepcke boarded Lanza Flight 508 to Pangana. Despite being warned of the poor reputation of the airline, her mother wanted them to go home, so the flight was booked. The plane was struck by lightning mid-flight and began to descend and disintegrate. Koepcke found herself falling fast, plummeting to the ground, still strapped to her row of seats 10,000 feet above the Amazon rainforest. Juliane would survive the fall but suffer a multitude of injuries such as a broken collarbone, a deep cut on her arm, an eye injury, and a concussion. She spent 11 days in the rainforest, most of which were spent following a creek to a river in hopes of escaping the jungle, during which time Juliane would endure severe insect bites and an infestation of botfly larvae in her right arm. After 9 days of fighting her way through the jungle of the Amazon, she was able to find an encampment that had been set up by local lumberjacks. A few hours later, they found her and treated her wounds to their best ability. They then used a canoe to transport her for the next 11 hours to safety, from where she was airlifted to a hospital. Experts have said that she survived the fall because she was harnessed into her seat, which was part of a row of 3, thought to have functioned as a parachute or helicopter, which slowed her fall, as well as the thick foliage at her landing site. I had nightmares for a long time, for years, and, of course, the grief about my mother's death and that of the other people came back again and again. The thought, why was I the only survivor? Haunts me, it always will. After recovering from her injuries, Koepcke assisted search parties in locating the crash site and recovering the bodies of victims. All 6 of its crew and 85 passengers perished that day. As many as 14 other passengers were later discovered to have survived the crash but died while waiting to be rescued. Her mother's body was discovered on January 12, 1972. Koepcke returned to Germany, where she fully recovered. She would go on to study biology at the University of Kiel and graduated in 1980. Juliane received a doctorate from Ludwig Maximilian University of Munich and returned to Peru to conduct research specializing in bats. She published her thesis, Ecological Study of a Bat Colony in the Tropical Rainforest of Peru, in 1987. She would go on to marry Eric Diller in 1989, then becoming director of Pangana Research Station in 2000. Koepcke's autobiography, When I Fell from the Sky, How the Jungle Gave Me My Life Back, was released in 2011 and won that year's Carine Literature Prize. In 2019, the government of Peru made her a Grand Officer of the Order of Merit for Distinguished Services, and today she serves as a librarian at the Bavarian State Collection of Zoology in Munich. After surviving such tragedy, Juliane went on to accomplish amazing feats both academically and personal, becoming an example of greatness after disaster. Thanks for watching.